Today's topic is Nipah virus. It is a paramyxovirus belonging to the genus Henipavirus of the family Paramyxoviridae. It is a biosafety level 4 pathogen which is transmitted by specific types of fruit bat, mainly Pteropus species, which are natural reservoir hosts, and was first reported from Nipah village of Malaysia in 1990s. It is a highly fatal virus posing potential threat to global health security. The Pteropus bats were associated with outbreak of the Nipah viral disease in various countries of South and Southeast Asia, which includes Bangladesh, East Timor, Indonesia, India, Malaysia, and many more countries. So, Nipah virus is a negative sense single-stranded non-segmented envelope RNA virus possessing helical symmetry. Though the RNA genome from the 3' to 5' contain executive arrangement of 6 genes, which include nucleocapsid, phosphoprotein, matrix, fusion glycoprotein, attachment glycoprotein, and long polymerase. So, this nucleocapsid, phosphoprotein, long polymerase attach to the viral RNA, forming the virus ribonucleoprotein. And these fusion protein and glycoproteins are responsible for cellular attachment of the virion and subsequent host cell entry. So, the newly produced precursor F protein is cleaved into two subunits, which is denoted as F1 and F2 by host proteases. The fusion peptide of the virus contained in the F1 subunit, which derives the viral and host cellular burden. So, the antibody of the G protein, that is glycoprotein, is essential for neutralization of the Nipah virus activity. So, it can survive for up to 3 days in some fruit juices or mango fruit and for at least 7 days in artificial date plum sap, which is kept at 22 degrees centigrade. So, this is about the structure of Nipah virus. Next is about the transmission of Nipah virus. Bats serve as a reservoir host for several high-risk pathogens, which includes Nipah, rabies, Marburg viruses. Such viruses are not associated with any significant pathological changes in the bat population. So, still today, detailed studies are required to understand the mechanism of this virus transmission from bat to pig, pig to man, and from date plum sap to human, and viral circulation between fruit bats, pigs, and human being. Next, this fruit bat acts as a natural reservoir of Nipah viruses and among various outbreaks documented from various geographical parts of the globe, and these bats have been associated in one or other way of transmission of the virus and its associated infection. From bats, the virus has crossed its specific barrier frequency to several other species including man through spillover transmission, but with limited transmission from person to person thereafter. Mainly, the transmission of this virus to man occurred in places where men, pigs and bats comes in close proximity. People rear pigs for economic benefits, and fruit-bearing trees are also cultivated in and around the farm for shade. Bats of Pteropus species, which are this reservoir and are attracted by the fruits. Hence, Nipah virus gets spill over to pigs or animals and also to human. So, infected pig meat travel across the continent, which lead to transmission of viruses from animal in one part of the world to people of another part of the globe. This combination of close surrounding of fruiting trees, fruit like date plum, fruit bat, pigs and mens altogether form the basis of emergence and spread of new deadly zoonotic virus infection like Nipah. Next is about the pathogenesis of this deadly virus. In the initial stage of illness in men, detection of NIV can be done in epithelial cells of the bronchiole. And then this viral antigen can be detected in bronchi and alveoli. And then inflammatory mediators are activated as a result of infection to the airways epithelium. And then virus is disseminated to the endothelial cells of the lungs in the later stage of the disease. And then virus enter the bloodstream followed by dissemination, which either freely or in host leukocyte bound form. Apart from lungs, spleen, kidney, along with brain may act as a target organ, leading to multiple organ failure. This is development of lethal infection in hamster when leukocytes loaded with NIV are passively transferred. In pigs, there is productive infection of monocytes, natural killer cells, along with CD6 plus CD8 plus T lymphocytes, where two pathways are distinctly involved in the process of viral entry into the central nervous system, that is via hematogenous route or via anterogradely via olfactory nerve. At that time, the blood-brain barrier is disrupted and IL-1 beta along with tumor necrosis factor alpha are expressed due to infection of the central nervous system by the virus, which ultimately leads to development of neurological signs. There may be a presence of inclusion bodies in each case of infected CNS in men. In both the grey as well as white matter, plaques may evident along with necrosis. So, we can say that the virus can directly enter the central nervous system in several experimental animal models via the olfactory nerve. The olfactory epithelium of the nasal turbinate is infected by NIV in such animal models. So, the viral infection subsequently extends through the cribriform plate of the olfactory valve. Ultimately, the virus is disseminated throughout the ventral cortex and along with olfactory tubercle. So, this is all about the pathogenesis of the Nipah virus. Next is about the clinical sign and symptom. Highly pathogenic Nipah virus causes symptomatic infection in pig and human. Respiratory symptoms are much more severe in pigs as compared to human. In human, the sign and symptom of the disease appear 3 to 14 days after the exposure. Initially, there is a high rise of temperature along with drowsiness and headache, which is followed by mental confusion as well as disorientation, ultimately processing towards coma within 1 to 2 days. After that, a critical complication of the NIV infection is encephalitis. During initial phase, the respiratory problem may become evident. In this case, pneumonia may be developed. Coughing along with acute respiratory distress may be evident in certain patients. There may be a sore throat, vomiting along with muscle aches. In some patients, development of septicemia along with impairment of the renal system and bleeding from the gastrointestinal tract is also seen. In several cases, within a period of 24 to 48 hours, there may be a development of encephalitis along with seizure that ultimately leads to coma, as per some research in 2013. So, it is crucial to note that transmission of the virus is more common from the patient having labored breathing than those having no respiratory problem. Next, in pigs, the disease is also known as Porcine respiratory and encephalitis syndrome, barking pig syndrome, or one mild cough. An acute febrile illness has been reported in pigs below 6 months of age. wherein there is a development of respiratory illness that ranges from rapid labor breathing to non-productive cough, which is harsh in nature. With the exception of young piglets, the mortality is relatively low as per research in 2000, 2003 and 2013. In animal that are confined, morbidity may approach 100% due to involvement of nervous system. That may be the twitching of muscle, weakness of hind leg, tremors, along with paresis, either fleshy or spastis of varying degree. Next, in dogs infected with NIV, there may be inflammation of the lungs along with necrosis of glomeruli as well as tubules with formation of synthia in kidney. In cats, there may be a development of endothelial synthia along with vasculopathy in multiple organs. So, scientists has done various experiments to examine the sign and symptom of NIV in different animals like hamster, guinea pig, chick embryo as well as African green monkey, which result in development of lesions in the parenchyma in the central nervous system along with vasculopathy. Scientists also examined mice and rats for clinical sign, but in that case it is absent, but the reason is unknown. So this is all about the sign and symptom in different animals as well as in human. Nowadays, a recent outbreak is seen in southern India, that is in Kerala. Next is about the treatment. There are currently no drugs, no vaccine that specifically target Nipah virus infection. As per WHO, it is recommended as a supportive care. So, intensive supportive care is recommended to treat severe respiratory and neurological complications as per WHO. So, this is some basic details about Nipah virus. Today I have tried to describe about its structure, pathogenesis, transmission. So, this is all for today. Thank you for your time and watching this video.